DSPN, the Devlin Sports Podcast Network.
What a special treat this is ahead of Albert Park this weekend and then Taupō coming in April. Supercars. First event a couple of weeks ago was in Sydney Motorsport Park, and of course that Friday night race then across the weekend. And with us, a couple of Kiwi superstars of supercars, Andre Heimgartner. G'day, how you doing?
Good, thanks.
And Ryan Wood, coming nice and close on the mics, guys. Andre, let's just talk about Sydney to start with. That was just extraordinary from Cam, wasn't it? 3 poles, 3 wins.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. It hasn't really happened, I don't think, since I've been watching the sport. So, yeah, his car was pretty lit and the team did a good job. And I think, it was good for the sport. There's some really good racing on that first 1 or 2 races, which got everyone lit up and excited. So it was an awesome way to start the season. Unfortunately, neither me or Ryan were in the bloody fight. But apart from that, it was good to watch.
How much better was his car than everyone else's?
It's hard to tell. I didn't get to drive it, but I know for sure me and Andre had some good battles on the weekend, and seems to be that we're like magnets. Every race we get around each other, it's pretty tight. But yeah, it's definitely Cam and Tickford dominated that weekend, especially car number 6. So it's the chase is on for the rest of us. I think it's still he dominated, but it still showed how competitive the field was because of race 2, how hard he had it. So I think it's going to be a pretty cool year.
I'm always fascinated as to how you know at the beginning of a weekend how fast your car is or how fast anyone's car is.
Yeah, well, the problem with the series now is I think I had 2 good days and then Sunday was a bit worse for us, but I qualified like 16th, but I was only like 4 tenths or something off pole, which is a very, very small margin.
Zhunk.
So
that's all it is, isn't it?
It's incredibly close. So it's one of the closest categories in the world as far as that goes. So it doesn't take much. So you don't really know until you actually qualify, because you can go from one day being slow to then being on the front row, and it doesn't take a big shift. But that's, I guess, the beauty of the category. You have different winners, different people up the front, different people at the back. Mm-hmm. Like it always gets mixed up. So it's good.
How difficult is it when you are chasing to actually catch that guy if he's got some clean track in front of him?
Yeah, I think especially the more experienced guys, they definitely know how to look after the tyre and really make that gap sort of stay the same, if not increase. So, for me, the last year and even going into this year, I think first round for me was a lot better with that, looking after the tyre and starting to understand more about that. But all in all, when you've got a good race car, everything feels really easy, and you just all of a sudden catching the guy in front and then the next guy, or you're pulling away from them. So it's it's a weird feeling when you're not on it because you don't really know why, but it makes the beauty of our sport really exciting and quite entertaining.
At the end of that third race, when it started to rain, I mean, it was great watching it at home because all the cars were going like this. How difficult was it to actually keep that thing straight?
I think it's worse on TV than in real life, to be honest. It is pretty dicey, but it only gets really bad if it really, really rains hard, which it did for the last lap. But apart from that, it's actually all right, surprisingly. Yeah, there's like different lines you take on the track and different stuff, so it's definitely more sketchy than if it's dry, but it's not as bad as it looks. But yeah.
Is there a fear factor at all when you're doing this, or the adrenaline's just going, you don't even think about it?
I think probably Andre the same. I've raced since I was 7, so it's not really anything. It's a job. You're just trying to go as fast as you can. You don't really think about the consequences or what's going to happen. You're just trying to do the fastest lap or the best race you can, so you don't really think about anything other than that.
Heading to Albert Park before Taupō, what are you expecting?
A lot of sitting around and waiting, really. It's a good weekend, but for us, it's we're not the main act, so we spend a lot of time sitting on the side. We basically have one session a day, but for us, it's going to be interesting. We have a new tyre this year, which I think everyone is expecting to have problems at Albert Park because it's a very new surface, a lot of grip, so generally we have issues with the tyres blistering, especially a new grippier tyre. Mm-hmm. So I think it will be interesting. I think the racing will be as close as ever. Our lap times will be faster because we've got faster tyre. It'll be great to watch and lots of drama with tyres, I bet.
Do you get the chance to sit down and watch the F1 cars as well? Do you actually have that time?
Yeah, we usually get a bit of time, but I'm lucky I live in Albert Park, so my apartment overlooks the racetrack, so if I'm sort of doing my waiting round, I'll do it at home and then watch some F1 cars. But I think Andre touched on it is a really cool event for us. It does drag on a little bit because we do only have one session or that sort of stuff, but it is really, really cool to be a part of that event, and that was my first time doing it last year. And
Would you love to have a go on one of them?
Yeah, I think anyone would, yeah. I wouldn't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'd give it a go.
Yeah, there's a bit going on. I don't know how my neck would hold up with the amount of G-forces, you know. You look at Liam Lawson and he's all neck. That's about it.
And then we go to Taupō, and you won the first race there last year, so happy memories.
Yeah, really happy memories. Probably as a New Zealander, one of the best things you can do, obviously at home. It was great. All my family was there, so it was, and it was a typical New Zealand day too, rainy, cold as hell. Yeah. Everyone was drenched, so it was pretty ironic, really.
And you look forward to that track?
Yeah, I love Taupō. It's obviously a really special event for all the Kiwis to get back there, and fingers crossed I can have another good run, because ended up 4th there in the first race and just missed my first podium, so hopefully I can get that at Taupō or even before that at Albert Park, and just hopefully it'll be another rainy day, something like that, because I know me and Andre both love the wet, so it's if we could do it in the dry, that would be even more special, I think, as well.
Is there anything about hometown advantage or home crowd advantage? Does that count for anything?
A little bit. I think, it's like for us a bit of a grand final type thing, so you get pretty G'd up, and I think there's a lot of meaning. Like the last time we raced at Pukekohe, when we were standing at the front doing the national anthem, and I was like looking up at the stand that I grew up watching Greg Murphy racing and stuff. So there's just a lot of emotion, I think, for all Kiwis involved. And we race in Australia all year in areas that have no real attachment for us because we didn't grow up there. So to come back here, have the whole racing community, all your family, friends, it just adds something to it. And then to do well as well, it just really makes it well worth. And I think for me, I really lift, and especially the last few years, I've got quite a few podiums and stuff and a win here. So hopefully that continues. But yeah, it's good.
All the very best, mate. Hope to see you up there spraying some champagne around this year. Both you, actually. Thanks so much. Looking forward to this weekend. Obviously, there's so much racing. I mean, it's just a absolute petrol head heaven if you're sitting in front of the couch watching it. And thanks so much for coming in. And we look forward to seeing you in Taupō.
No worries.
Cool. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
This is the DSPN.